And big shout out to the Army National Guard. Fantastic video, but we have an even more incredible match around the corner. It is Finger Lakes Community College versus Lackawanna College Falcons. This is the quarterfinal for the NJCAAE. And the winners of this best of five go on to the semi-finals, and that'll be premiering on this channel next week. So you guys are at the right place. Drop a follow, and you'll get to follow all the action with us.
Alrighty, and we are going to get into the introductions of the teams right here. We're going to start first with Finger Lakes Community College. We have Jakia Bell, Jaden Glitch Sparrow Jennings, Madison Venice Johnson, Nate Tornado Man Durkin, and Nathan. Oh, I'm sorry. And
Oh,
playing support, damage, and tank respectively.
Yeah, and then I don't even bother with people's names. Like, I was a teacher once, and I just started with first names like Andrew, Hannah, Kobe, and Matthew on the top. We got tanks, supports. Any favorite names here? Because we don't know a lot about these players besides that they work for Finger Lakes. They've worked very hard through Group 1 with a record of 8-1. I think my favorite name has to be Tornado Man, because how do you come up with that, Molly?
Really, I mean, when you Tornado Man is not that crazy of a name. Have you even played Overwatch? I have seen some absolutely insane names. I think Tornado Man is pretty classy.
A llama cartel. I guess there's some kind of gang with animals going on. I don't know, but they have an 8-1 record. And their head coach, program director, is Michael Van Etten, who is also an assistant professor at Finger Lakes. So having a lot of good direction. This is a school located in New York. So any New Yorker fans in chat, let us know. But let's also give love to their competition, the Lackawanna College Falcons, and their program director is Teddy Delaney. And this features a lot of cool faces too.
Alrighty, so here on Lackawanna we have Nathan Quakian Ayers, Michael Salamander Broknovich, Paige Mom Jeans O'Hara, Trinity Trinquin McAndrew, Chris Bebley Rojas, Anthony Gummy Ponds Smith.
I love gummy ponds, gummy poons,
Gummy
or
Pones.
mom jeans. Mom jeans. Hello, I love mom jeans. I've moved on from skinny jeans to mom jeans. You guys, you get older, you just have to go with the times. All right, your body shape doesn't always go with the fashion sense. And then Boknovich sounds like kind of like a mix of a Russian broccoli. So I really like that last name too. But let's take a look at the bracket to see how these teams have made it up to this point. Remember, guys, this is the quarterfinals. Both these teams have a record of 8-1, and the score is going to be settled right here. So we got a quarterfinal. Yep, so this is a best of 5 for anybody watching. So first to 3, you guys know the deal. We'll be starting on control, and that particular map will be Busan. And I'm wondering who's going to come out with a dub. Tiffany didn't want to give us any predictions, but Molly, do you have some, you just want to randomly pick a team that you think's going to win? I like to just look also brain dead and just pick something.
Oh, when it comes to predictions, I'm really bad because I tend to let my bias get in the way too much of which team I want to win. Now, I don't know these teams enough to really have a favorite yet. So I think we, at the very least, need to wait until we see the first map, maybe even just the first round, to kind of get a taste of how they play. And that would probably let us go a little bit better, or give us a better grasp of exactly how this is going to go. I'm really hoping for a close match, and we'll see it right now. So as we know, the meta is a little crazy right now. Pretty much nothing's off the table, which I kind of really like. It's a lot more fun than being strictly you must play this in order to win. We also don't quite know exactly if these teams maybe have any weird tricks up their sleeve. And so it looks like we're running a BAP Lucio and a Ana Mercy, completely different comps on both sides, and I'm really excited to see what they give us.
Yeah, the Reinhardt Roadhog is probably the weirdest thing I've seen, but surprisingly pretty meta. And look who's posting up. His Finger Lakes on top flat. Shield's already pretty broke for Tornado Man, so you can see how they're giving up that space, but Finger Lakes have lost both supports. How does that possibly happen? That's the range from Taishinobu who picked them up, and without any healing, that's just a dead fight. Don't matter who's left at that point. When all the damage counts permanently from here on out. So Lackawanna, when I thought their shield was gonna break, when I thought all hope was lost, they got the point first.
And we are looking at almost a double difference for the Reinhardts at this point. Quakian is going to have to really watch out, protect his team from that oncoming Earth Shatter in this next fight.
Oh, and you called it right. Tornado Man slams down, gets at least 3. Good immortality from Trinquin, but Mom Jeans gonna be trying that on in the dressing room one more time. Lackawanna with now 2 fights in a row, and not even really needing to use any ult. Maybe the Nano came out, but Tornado Man is also resurrected, so we're back at square one.
Tornado Man is already back to 80%. He's gonna have a shatter for the next fight. Now, Mecha Base isn't the favorite map for a lot of people, so this isn't super indicative of how the match is gonna go. And a shatter! Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, and then you even have the Deadeye from Taishinobu. He's on the high ground, uncontested by the way, and there's just nothing Trinquin could do. There is no shield. Like, trying to get close to Reinhardt's the best you could do, but that's why holding the high ground here is so important. But we have a flip of the point, Finger Lakes in control.
They were able to win that round with just that shatter, which means they're gonna be having a decent number of ultimates to work with for the next fight, but they're really gonna need to be looking out for this EMP coming on the side of Venice. They don't have his feet to protect against this.
Oh, that's an important hack, and it was onto Quakian, so that means Tornado Man got a free shatter. Free 99. We love those. Instantly floors 2, 6 versus 4 for Lackawanna, and they don't even have to use any more ultimates. Like, Llama Cartel's just spinning around, having a good old time, laying down the bullet of pain, and now Lackawanna have a nice lead going.
I'm actually a little concerned here. I don't think we've seen have we seen a single beat on the side of Gummy Pones and Mom grab or a beat from Gummy Pones and Mom Jeans? If you don't have those building for the fight, those are such 2 important ultimates that you really can't be behind on those.
Oh, EMP, Vents, thinking about it pretty hard. Decided not to. Maybe the team wasn't ready, and that's why communication is so important, but it's also important to still have your main tank and a DPS. So Lackawanna lost too, and you see how they're just running away, and this is so smart. If you're 4 versus 6, it's kind of hard to turn those around, but Quakian almost got a little too eager, gets deleted. Tornado Man comes in with a shatter. Now you have an EMP from Vents, but they gotta deal with this Beverly Reaper. That's a lot of damage close range, and the pick from Jakia means Lackawanna are still in the driver's seat. They just gotta go and deal with the Zarya, and then, and the Slucio, and then they'll flip the point.
And that was a lot of back and forth, that fight here. I don't even know if it really technically ended. We're still going here. There's a little bit of people poking here and there, and we saw a good soft kind of disengage where they backed up into their quarter a little bit, even though they lost a few people, and then they were able to push forward again and retake.
There's that sound barrier you were waiting for. Gummy Poons also with the grab. 99% overtime for Lackawanna. We're using every single ult they can. And Beverly, that Reaper Death Blossom, I don't know how, that didn't really kill anybody, but trying to stop this res. The res goes through, but Snell sacrifices their life for it. But the tanks are so chonky on this point. There's just no breaking through the defenses of Lackawanna, who will be taking our first point, 100-61.
Yeah, so we saw on that point, with the Roadhog, with the high healing of Ana, the self-healing of Roadhog, and then Sombra, who's pretty self-sufficient, they didn't really need a whole ton of, they didn't need to rely on their healers a whole ton in order to stay up. And I think that might have played a larger part in how they might have been able to take that point. The Ana could focus really hard on just kind of keeping her Rhine up, keeping her second DPS up, and that might have played a really big part, even with the superiority of, arguably, you could say, Bap and Lucio are the more meta pick right now. They weren't able to keep up with the aggression of the other team.
And that's what I love to watch, Molly. It's just these two Reinhardts beating their heads in. Because as soon as that one Reinhardt drops, there's just these big shatters that come in when there's no shields to stop it. And well, speaking of which, when you get frozen up like that, that's not going to be a fun time for Tornado Mans. But it will be the trunk man of Llama Cartel that's just going to soak up damage, maybe allowing Finger Lakes to get out and wait for their Reinhardt. But that also means point control first for Lackawanna.
This Mei is going to prove a really big problem for any kind of like close engagements they might want to take, and they're really going to have to figure a way either to maybe hacker or get around that freeze.
Oh, there's some hacks, at least Taishinobu. I feel like I'm casting an anime when I swear there's a character and someone's gonna have to tell me who it is, but dueling against Salamanders, McCree, backed away, gets towards the health pack, and you see Quackian's Reinhardt got so low, finished off. The deadeye from Salamander maybe zoned off the competition for the moment, but not a lot left for Lackawanna, but even less for Finger Lakes, who are still just trying to gather their forces. But this is now a 32% lead and growing versus 0.
I'm really liking Mom Jeans is having a much better round this time. She's already got her beat going on, and they can be ready for, you know, we're looking at Bob just came out, and any type of aggression that they put out, you know, she can answer that with.
Oh my god, Tornado Man. Unhappy with that one. When you get your shatter canceled like that, that's a heartbreaker. As a Reinhardt player myself, I feel that. I'll be giving you a Kleenex with your name on it. So 60% now to nothing. Finger Lakes gotta come up with something.
They're gonna have to, they have an EMP playing with, they have 4 ults to play with this next fight, a lot of which can be round-winning ultimates. You know, we've got EMP, we've got Nano. If they can use these smartly and hopefully not use all of them, they have a good chance.
Oh, that's a Nano whole hog from Finger Lakes. Good coordination and the EMP, so you can't run, you can't ice block, you can't do anything against that. What a combination of those ults. All 3 to take back over this objective, but 83% for Lackawanna is quite a gap they have to close.
This is going to be a really important match because even though they didn't use all their ultimate, or important fight, even though they didn't use all their ultimates, they've only got Valkyrie to work with for this next fight, and we know that isn't the strongest defensive ultimate. They're going to have to play so smart, so safe. They have a grab they're going to have to try and deal with next fight. And if they lose the fight, there's a good chance they've lost this round.
Clocky is, oh, he swung away, only got the Earth Shatter onto the Roadhog, so good shield from Tornado Man. So good Earth Shatter in the middle of the Blizzard. What a crazy idiot, but a crazy idiot that gets the job done. So now that's one fight under the belt of Finger Lakes, but that means they're getting closer to closing that gap between themselves and Lackawanna.
I'm not even sure what happened that fight. I saw a shatter happen, I saw a blizzard happen, but then just things just didn't die, and then all of a sudden they still had the point. And you know, they do still have that grab to work with, which is a really important ultimate, and you know, defending team doesn't have anything to really defend against it. They're pushing this Ashe out of position so she can't just fire down freely onto the team as they push in, which I think is a good idea.
Wow, they already picked off that Roadhog. 6 versus 5 for Lackawanna. They throw the grab, and the fire from Jockey can maybe slow things down. It actually ends up punishing Quackian, so the grab didn't really help out Lackawanna too much. But it was Finger Lakes that reacted so well to the bio grenade thrown from Jockey. But without any support, Finger Lakes, I don't know how long you're going to be living, but Tornado Mans, this is my point. Takes it over.
You want some hammer? I will give you some hammer.
You want some of this? And Finger Lakes now in the lead.
Yeah, now it looks like we're once again building a few more ultimates on the defending side. You know, we've got another EMP, another Nano, which is what they won the other fight with.
Oh, 4-person EMP. Okay, then. But now can you do something about it? Somehow Lackawanna didn't lose anybody throughout that until this moment. And that's when, of course, you're going to Nano. Oh, I thought the Nano would have gone to Tornado Mans because he looked all so powerful for a second. Swinging on this ice block, May. Bebley not going to be living too long. What a flip around. 0 to 83 for Lackawanna. And Finger Lakes went flawless to take our first map of Busan.
Absolutely exciting match. Now, again, not indicative of how this entire series is going to go. We know that teams can play a lot differently on King of the Hill versus Payload or Assault maps. And now, something I did seem to notice, though, on the side of Lackawanna, there were a lot of fights where they committed a lot of big ultimates, but for some reason still could not close out the fight. Now, I don't know if that's because they didn't prioritize
I thought so.
the enemy team's healers, or if they just, played sloppily. I couldn't quite pick up on where it was, but they're going to need to really focus if they intend to, stop Tornado Man from just hammering into their team.
Yeah, I think you said it right during the match. The Finger Lakes were just aggressive and they're able to realize the cooldowns and how to execute those people when they are vulnerable without that one important cooldown, whether it's the ice block from the May or the hook from the Roadhog, whatever it is. Finger Lakes turn things around.
Oh,
But as we
look
wait,
here. We do have a little bit of coordination on both teams. We've got Bunny Diva versus Pachimari. I love a
uh
team who can color coordinate, or at least in this case, icon coordinate.
Yeah, for sure. But before we get into our next map, we want to give some love to you guys in chat for watching, but also our sponsor, Lenovo, for supporting this event. So, Lenovo Legion knows you play to win. So, to stand up from the competition, you obviously need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts. Unlike me, man, you think kind of slow. But for you others who are way better at video games, you think fast and you act fast. And Lenovo is there. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers uh, wins in the toughest, most critical situations when you need to think and act fast. So, with its extreme 1 millisecond response, that's hard to get. And it's insane 240 hertz refresh rate. That's the monitor rate that every professional is going for. The Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a lot more. It's built for those who engage in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level. Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel. IPS panel is one of the best. That's what I end up using. And 24-inch is the perfect size. Not too big, not too small, but just right for gaming. Built with NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility, the Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. So big shout out to Lenovo and what they do for gamers.
Woo! I don't know. I'm barely learning to use monitors with higher hertz personally. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hertz, what's that? Or higher frame rates and things like that. I was on playing on a 60 monitor for a really really long time, and I don't know if I noticed a difference between my 144 and my 60 monitor, but I like to pretend I do, and I feel like I got better at Overwatch, so I'm gonna say it did.
Yeah, that's like the number one advice like every Overwatch pro will give you. Of course, you adjust your reticle, your settings in game and stuff like that. But it's like the first thing they'll ask you is, what kind of monitor are you playing on? And if you say 60 hertz, they're gonna look at you kind of funny because they're like, okay, if you want to be like, there's no pro who plays at like 60 hertz. It's just way smoother because Overwatch is so quick, Molly. We know we're just 360ing all around, and the more hertz you get, just the more you see and the better you see. So I upgraded from a 60 to a 144, and I felt like I was being born again. I was just like, is this what gaming is truly like? It has like enhanced my whole experience. I can't afford a 200 or 240 hertz monitor yet, but that'll be my next upgrade to be like big gamer hours, you know?
Big gamer hours, absolutely. I mean, as big as we can be, I unfortunately ascribe to that age old stereotype that if you can't play Overwatch, you cast Overwatch, and that might be why I'm here today. But I mean, casting is so much fun. I'm really happy I get to be here with you today because this is just we're only first map in, and it's just been a blast.
And we have our map 2 almost ready, or I think our teams are ready. So for anyone just joining us, Finger Lakes are up 1-0 in our series against Lackawanna. Best of 5 for the quarterfinals of the series. And our next map has been chosen. We are going to Eichenwalde, as it's taken me so many years to learn how to pronounce that. I attempt, but
Eichenwald.
Eichenwalde.
The key then, after you learn how to say it, the key is then to say it with as much enthusiasm as Reinhardt. But
Oh,
I don't know if
I
chat would
try.
very much appreciate me yelling into my mic. At least not when I'm, excitedly casting. So I will refrain.
You can blow my eardrums out after the cast, I promise. We'll give each other impressions of that. Big shout out to Army National Guard for putting this on. We're going to talk to Tiffany after, and we'll also announce the winner of the $500 scholarship after this series for anyone tuning in. Make sure you keep your ears and eyes peeled, I guess. and we'll get through that after.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Alrighty, sounds good. So we do have, so we already talked about Eichenwald. So Eichenwald is, you know, our first combined map. The first, oh my gosh, we've got assault, we've got payload. What am I forgetting? The word for Eichenwald. Hybrid
it's
map.
hybrid.
There we go. Gosh, everyone in chat right now is like, she's fake, fake gamer.
Great gamer.
So you know we have a little bit. We've got capture the point, and then we have to move the payload. And Eichenwald is at least, I don't know if it counts as streets phase because it's not a street, but second point Eichenwald is a little crazy in the kind of map geometry that I feel like is different than any other map you have to deal with. There's high ground, there's low ground, there's the underground tunnels. There's so many angles that I feel like teams oftentimes get a lot of benefit off of running chaos comps and a lot of long-range DPS. And I'm really excited to see how these two teams kind of handle that. And, you know, it can, you know, are they gonna try and push rush? Are they gonna, you know, are they coordinated enough for dive? What do you think?
Well, I mean, we just saw Lackawanna do right there with the rush, with the Reinhardt Orisa, with the Symmetra. That's such a deadly combo. The only thing I maybe hate about this composition is the Orisa, but she is really fun and easy to play of just putting a shield down, and you can add damage to it. So 2 shields for the price of 1, price of 2. Lackawanna got that point so fast, and they're not even done yet. You're already swinging on Llama Cartel, dodges the wall, and oh my god, a shot already comes down, but as they went to follow up with that, got the lead, and so no tanks remaining for Lackawanna, and this coalescence maybe to finish off some low HP targets, but probably Lackawanna have to reset.
I'll be completely honest, you said they'd capture that point fast. I absolutely 100% just blinked and it was over. I missed it. I was chatting to you about points and then they captured it. Absolute dominance on the attacking team right now.
And it's not even over yet. They've been swinging away, but it's also been contested, and that's good for Finger Lakes to just take as much time away as possible because he kind of gave up that first point quite quickly. Uh-oh, it's a Riptide from Vents. From the castle side, it goes above, and it's a triple kill, taking out 3. Lackawanna, what are you gonna do about that? I mean, the best thing you could have done is maybe sound barrier to give a little bit of shields before that tire came in, but you just full reset.
Yeah, but with them so close to spawn, is it even worth wasting your sound barrier? Or, you know, would it potentially be considered a waste of a sound barrier when, you know what, it might just be more worth it to just take the L and regroup?
Oh boy. Llama Cartel, you're in a lot of heat right now. He's gonna go for the panic shatter. I always go that. I don't think got much though, but gets nanos. And now with this Sigma Gravitic Flux, slams down the entire team of Lackawanna. And Llama Cartel just has to knock those pins down. Beautiful setup from the defense. And there was an attempt from Lackawanna. He had that supercharger, gives them extra damage, but when you're getting slammed down, not much you can do there.
Finger Lakes used almost every ultimate in their bank on that fight, and I'm a little bit worried. They're gonna maybe have to use this Blizzard defensively coming up on this next fight here.
And that was an early coalescence. They don't have mom jeans, and they're on the floor again. Llama Cartel says, shut down. Lackawanna did just that. I think it's been now 2 minutes, Molly, that we're at this cart, and not a lot of progress has been made from Lackawanna.
Yeah, and we're looking at another Rip Tire for this fight, and Finger Lakes still has their Blizzard, although we do have Blizzards on both sides. So it might just come down to which one of them can use it a little smarter, because Blizzard can be either completely useless or really devastating ultimate, and May is so important for these kinds of comps.
Damn, Ben's just slapped somebody mid-air. Oh, another Riptire. Oh, there's a Zarya right there. Does he? Oh, don't care about the Zarya. Goes for the support. Even ends up getting the Pharah. That's so smart. Vince has been a standout player this series by far. And I could watch this person Riptire all day, I think.
Pharah's a Junkrat counter? He said, no. I'm the Pharah counter. You wanna hit scan for that pharmacy? No. I got it. It's fine. No problem. Although it is a little bit of a problem on Lackawanna's side that they're running this pharmacy and they do seem to be still having trouble against, you know, this Junkrat, this Mei, both of which aren't really effective at getting the pharmacy out of the sky. You know, they really need to utilize this duo that they have, you know, otherwise they might as well pick something else.
I've never seen a Junkrat duel against a Pharah like mid-air like that. There's the barrage just in time. Salamander lets it rain. Double kill. Gets rid of those tanks from the defense. We might actually see some progress from Lackawanna. And somehow Momji, she got away with that res. So Salamander's right back in action. And this card has been finally moving. But Llama Cartel trying to put the brakes on that. Throws the shatter down. And is getting the pocket from the Mercy. But you can see that they are currently surrounded by the entirety of Lackawanna. So Llama Cartel will have to fall back with the rest of the defense all the way back at that point B entrance to the castle, and Lackawanna have some progress made.
Finally starting to move that cart. Now they only have about a minute left, but they have an enormous bank of ultimates, and once again, hoping they don't use them all in one fight. Finger Lakes has a pretty important ultimate with Sig as well, which he's using to save himself right here. Oh, massive save.
Yeah, that's what's so scary and sketchy about playing on this bridge is you could get moved off, and actually no more Lucios. It's just maybe going to be the Sigma that could, or the Pharah that could boop someone off, but besides that, the Gravitic Flux and the Shatter maybe, Finger Lakes could just not hold on. So with that point B cap, Lackawanna's going to have a little extra time, and if they finish the map, that will be a big winning condition for them, because it'll be up to Finger Lakes to try and match that. As Quakian going to post up on the Winston, Reinhardt's going to swing away, and now a Blizzard is being thrown from Glitch.
Doesn't seem like anyone is necessarily caught in the blizzard, but it did push Lackawanna back off the cart enough to let Finger Lakes push up, and poor Ana got left behind, and their Mermaid couldn't save her. And so, you know, that's one of the big things about Blizzard, is that even if you don't catch anyone in it, it makes space.
Yeah, you make a lot of space when you just kill everybody too. Salamander just popped off. I can't believe that we all thought this fight was being reset or taking a sip of our water, and Salamander just kills 5. I don't know how it does it. Riptide from Vents. I love to see it going towards the supports. And oh, I didn't even kill the Mercy. The immortality is what saved Momjean. So, you know, salute to Trinquin with her sacrifice. Shatter from Llama right into the shield of Quakian. But these Junkrat mines are just hurting these shields, hurting the front line of Lackawanna, that they really have to start dealing with Vents soon.
So, am I the only one who saw Snell pull out the pistol on the poor enemy Pharah? She was valking, she said, "It's Glock time." Yeah, but Junkrat is really powerful in these enclosed spaces. With the, you know, all you've got is this hallway, and really you don't even necessarily have to aim. You can just fire away and things will run into your bombs and you'll get value eventually. Oh, we got
Bastion in my Overwatch. A little cheesy, but I like it. He got a shot or two, got everybody. And look, oh my, the window of death is what I call this. With Jakia's ultimate, the amplification matrix amplifies all damage that are going through it, but somebody also has to touch the cart. You're a wonderful Bastion, but you gotta stop that cart from finishing 0.31 meters. I thought with all that damage, that was gonna be enough for Finger Lakes, but Lackawanna will finish Molly with 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, you know, I literally just got done talking about, wow, Junkrat, he's so good on this point, and they switch it up with the Bastion, and it really looked like he was getting a lot of value at first, but then the fight kind of went sideways, and unfortunately they just couldn't keep up with Lackawanna's push, and they were able to get it, you know, the rest of the way. But attack and defense can be so different. I am really excited to see, you know, are they going to bring out the Junkrat again? And if so, do they have a way to answer to that? You know, are we going to see the pharmacy again? Or, you know, are they going to be crazy and try something like an attack Bastion on Eichenwald? On the side of Lackawanna, it looks like we're going for a double shield. So Ryan Arisa, perfectly playable comp, you know, like we said earlier, all the comps are a little bit viable right now, depending on what map and how you play them. You know, so we've got Bap Lucio, and the Mei will hopefully keep any kind of like oncoming aggression, oncoming dive, possibly, hopefully off their McCree, off their Arisa, because they're really going to have to commit hard to get past that wall, that freeze. And then we have another kind of double shield on the other side, so it's going to be really exciting to see exactly how each team decides to play this out.
Yeah, I don't mind the double shield defense, and then you have the immortality of the Baptiste that quite literally in the name makes you live through all the damage as long as that little floating lamp is still up. Maybe a Diva is also a good choice for it off tank to matrix some of these damage, because look how quickly the shields are breaking for this defense of Lackawanna. They are being warded back. Immortality just in time from Snell will save Llama Cartel. The Maywall will miss from Beverly as they go back towards the point. Now Finger Lakes without glitch doesn't seem like they want to wait. They're just gonna go in 5 versus 6. Quarterfinals with that charge. 2 missed charges even. You Reinhardt, I don't know what kind of cereal you're having, but I want some of it as Beverly jumps over the cart to start freezing. You got the Ant Matrix from Trinquin so that Salamander can have extra damage through it. This is puncturing through the front line of Finger Lakes, but they're done playing around. The shatter, the charge. Llama Cartel, he's in the back line. He's coming for the kids and wife. But Quarterfinals has a response, and he forced the competition as Vince is now back on the Ashe, already having the bomb online, and too late, too little, too late. I was waiting for another ultimate to come out of the attack, but it's Lackawanna that survive and don't give up a single tick of that objective.
I'm really, really impressed with how patiently both sides kind of played that. You know, we saw the window come out, but the attacking team, they didn't rush into it. They played smart, and even with that window up, they managed to kind of get in there, rustle their jimmies a little bit, but even though it didn't win them the fight, you know, it was played in a very disciplined way. Oh, and it looks like we have massive flux, but the Deadeye, oh my goodness!
See, that's the no you that happens when you gravitic flux a McCree that has Deadeye. They will get lifted up to heaven, but then send your team to heaven because they can also see above your shield. So that's the drawback of picking the wrong target and not killing them while they're still in the air. So really good response from Salamander, but that double kill apparently wasn't enough for the defense of Lackawanna to have very clear control. Finger Lakes just came storming in, and now they're going to take the point. But Molly, this was also a little bit slower than Lackawanna's try.
Yeah, definitely a lot slower. But if they can possibly make up for it for second point, because we did see the attacking team last round really get stuck at this first corner of the second point streets phase. You know, but if they can make up for that, I think they can make up for how long it took them to capture the first point. But it looks like Lackawanna has some kind of plan here. They're all rushing from the high ground.
Oh, that's scary.
Massive
and the
wall.
Beverly's cracked, and the Blizzard too, so they were just getting slowed as they were running away. What a collapse. That takes a lot of communication coordination to pull that out, so really thumbs up to Lackawanna for that.
Definitely a practice move. You could tell that this was something that they had rehearsed, they practiced, and that they knew they were going to use, and it almost one ultimate, and they completely shut down Finger Lakes' attack.
Pushing the cart here a little bit. Lackawanna waiting for the chance, waiting to smell blood in the water. Oh, there's shatters left, right, and center. Quarterfinals, I think, got a lot out of that. The sound barrier from Mom Jeans to keep her team still kicking. The Riptire still shreds through Salamander, and now you only have a May for damage. So not a lot compared to Glitch throwing nades into your shields, but Finger Lakes are the ones who have to push Lackawanna off this cart, because for anyone who doesn't know Overwatch, that cart will not move as long as the enemy team, the defense, is still on it. As Purple tries to physically remove them, only got one from that gravitic flux. Didn't get the finish on the Trinquin. The supercharger is going to be tough. 50% more damage to this defense, and the amplification matrix too, but you can't use all that extra damage if you're all dead. That's great advice. Finger Lakes get some progress now.
Finger Lakes, I think that's the second time Finger Lakes has said, oh, you want a window? That's okay, we'll kill your team anyway. Don't worry about it. And unfortunately, just window rendered useless for the poor Bap. And I know when I'm Baptiste, I always fight with, do I use this to shoot? Do I use this to heal? What do I do? Do I use it for me? Do I use it for my team? I don't know. But it does look like Lackawanna has one more chance right here. You know, if they lose this fight, good chance they've lost the point. We've got an early pick on Glitch Sparrow, which is not, oh, that's the second pick. Not looking good for Finger Lakes on this push.
Salamander already killed 2. This Lackawanna defense can maybe hold here, and now that Finger Lakes are leaving, this is going to be such a far road for them to get back on this card. They have to fight their way through, and I wonder, are they going to want to go through this castle left side? Do they want to take the high ground bridge, come through main road? They have a lot of options, so they got to talk to each other.
Yeah, well, Finger Lakes is running 2 hit scan right now, and with the long sight lines of this map, I don't know if going. Oh, but they are going castle anyway, and they're wow, what a pick! Oh my gosh, Lackawanna's people are just falling.
Okay, missing shots. Got to deal with Salamander. He's kind of scary. Okay, deleted him. Good job by Vence, and that's flashbang and a lot of work put in by Vence on that McCree. Oh, a dead eye from Vence. Picks off the support, and Tranquin's gonna be the main source of healing for her team. With only Lucio, you can only hope that you get like a 5-person group there. Lackawanna is still gonna try and fight their way back on this cart, because if they lose this fight, that'll be point be earned from Finger Lakes. But Kwakian down, this defense lacking a lot. Finger Lakes using the Gravity Flex just to get rid of any stalls, and Badly's just gonna ice block, take a few more seconds away. And with less than 30 seconds probably remaining at this point, Finger Lakes will move on to point C.
I saw the backfield come out for a second. I thought Lackawanna was gonna hold, but I mean, Lackawanna is still getting kills right now. So, I mean, it's back and forth. I can't tell who's gonna win this fight. It's just swinging hammers, and there's May ice blocks, and there's the invis fields, but in the end, Lackawanna did end up losing this point.
That was a little crazy. The stall from Lackawanna was pretty big. They probably fed a lot of ult charge, right? But then Finger Lakes also used ults just to push those last couple meters. But here is the real challenge, Molly. A minute and a half, and Finger Lakes have to finish the map, or else Lackawanna will tie the series. Shatter comes down from Llama. It gets the tanks down. Gummy might want to drop that supercharger. Does so. The blizzard is thrown this time from Beverly. I think anyway. Finger Lakes looked pretty fine. That must have been because of Jockia's sound barrier. But with the shield almost broken from Kwakian, Finger Lakes might want to spot this out and say it's time to move.
Really nice soft disengage here from Finger Lakes. You know, they did lose a couple people, but they immediately recognized that, and they backed out, and they said, all right, hang on, let's not push into this. You know, they're at the disadvantage right now. And they do have some DPS ultimates coming up, but I don't know how effective they're going to be in these tight corridors of Eichenwald. We're going to see if maybe, you know, Llama Cartel can make some kind of space, break some shields. And the May wall. Oh, massive Deadeye on the side of Finger Lakes. They said, Maywall, no, we'll break that for you, don't worry.
I can't believe that happened. I agreed with you. Oh, that Maywall's fantastic. They got 2 shields. That is not supposed to get 4 or 5 kills like that, and they're not even done. They want to cause some more staggers and separate Lackawanna from each other. There's even attack visor from Glitch, and this is auto aim. This person doesn't have to think twice about it, except when a Maywall comes up and freezes you. Finger Lakes now missing 2. Llama with the shatter tries to stabilize the team, because it's overtime. If Finger Lakes lose this fight, they lose the map, and that means Lackawanna will tie the series. But so far, so good for Finger Lakes. They just gotta keep holding on, Molly.
It looks like they've made a couple of switches. You know, we've got Doomfist, we've got Ball, we've got Winston, we've got May. I mean, they had the May, but, you know, they are looking at a lot of really good stall picks right here. And Finger Lakes is going to have to focus fire really well in order to close out this fight. And there was a massive purple on the side of Finger Lakes. No healing available for at least half of the team. But can they do it? All that's left is a Moira. And Lackawanna holds the round.
And that ties our series up 1-1. Look, guys, how close that was. And just so smart of Lackawanna to come out with those kind of, I call them desperation champs, or they're desperation heroes when you have the Doomfist, the Ball, and the Winston. These are all heroes that have high mobility, that can get to the point faster, because that's what you really hope for. But 1-1 between Lackawanna and Finger Lakes. I hope you guys in chat are letting us know who you're cheering for, because at least, you know, Molly, we didn't have to worry about predictions or anything, because it sounds like this is going to be a close series.
Yeah, I'm always excited when we've got 1-1. I'm like, ah, yes, this is going to be a good match. I also want to take a minute to talk about that crazy Deadeye we saw, because I'm sure any DPS player, any you know, especially McCree player who's like, I have Deadeye, I can do something with it, knows the pain of being like, if you guys could just break these shields, I could do something amazing. And to be able to count on your team to not, they got through 2 shields and a May wall to really get that Deadeye through. And I don't know. I don't know if maybe Lackawanna let their guard down a little bit because they had so much time to back up around the corner, not be in the LOS of that Deadeye, and the Maywall dropped, and they were all still right there in front of McCree, and were just fish in a barrel for him. Literally, just fish in a corridor, perfect for picking off. So I don't really know what happened there, but it was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I wonder if like the Maywall was brought down because it didn't look broken. And yeah, like you said, exactly they had to get around that corner because that's putting a lot of trust into a Maywall that has been since nerfed and pretty fragile ever since. But we are at the halftime mark, everybody, halfway through our series 1-1. But the winner has to get to 3 wins in order to advance to the semifinals that is taking place next week. After this break, we'll find out what map we'll be going to next. Welcome back, everybody, to the quarterfinals between Finger Lakes and Lackawanna. And I hope you guys got your popcorn because it's been a sizzler. We're tied 1-1 at the half. And our next map, Molly, has been decided. We're going to Volskaya, and we're so excited for that.
People don't like 2CP. I don't care. I love Volskaya. I think it's one of my favorite maps. It's I don't know what it is about it. I enjoy defending on it. I enjoy attacking on it. It's because you know how sometimes you have those maps where it's like, oh, it's fun to attack, but I like defending. But just to me, Volskaya is fun all around. It's also a really good way to kind of see the discipline between the two teams. How a team approaches 2CP is going to be I think really indicative in their discipline and kind of their plan and how they have practiced these maps because it's so easy to mess up on 2CP. It's so easy to just trickle in or to go in uncoordinated because you really have to take into account the spawn advantage that the defenders have, and you need to be disciplined and you need to have a plan, you know, or you just need to pop off, you know, if you are going to take the map, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to see how each team performs, you know, on a 2CP map.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't watch Overwatch usually, 2CP means 2 capture point. You see the big square there, that's the point that they have to capture, and then it's not even over yet. They have to go to point B, which is where that Ana or that blue line is kind of tailing to, is to another area that they also have to capture. And depending on how fast you do that, you get a big time bank, and then we keep going to extra rounds until that time runs out and someone isn't able to complete those objectives over and over again. But let's look at Lackawanna's offense. It's a Reaper and a Hanzo. High damage, both at range and close. And Benz is on the Sombra, and we loved seeing this last time. Look at that quick execute, the hack, and the follow-up from Taishinobu on the Genji already puts the defense at an advantage.
Absolutely massive hack on that Baptiste, and just his team could not peel fast enough to come back and help him. Poor Trinquin. Oh, it was a massacre. And Finger Lakes looks ready to hold for this next fight, and almost everyone on the team is halfway to their ultimates. And Lackawanna's gonna have to work really hard to catch up.
Lackawanna's like figuring out what comp they should go to, and against a Sombra and a Genji, there's no like direct counters except maybe some CC for the Genji. That'll really nail him down. There's actually a sleep on the Kwakian, and if I know Tornado Man's, I know he'd be charging in right now, but looks like he was able to temper his aggression just a little bit. But Taishinobu is just kind of hanging around in the back, trying to get that ult charge. He's so close to the blade, and with the coordination of Benz, gets to just get these dash resets. And look at that bio from Chakia. She nailed most of Lackawanna, and that bio grenade, when they turn purple like that, means they cannot be healed, and that's just kind of the death of you if that hits your whole team like that.
The concern for Lackawanna on that last fight is they knew the Sombra was still behind them. They knew that they had to have been expecting another hack. You know, they didn't necessarily see her translocate away. She just stayed behind them. And yet they didn't seem like they were ready for the next hack to come, and you know, there wasn't peel that time. Oh, and looks like going in for a Genji Blade. Nano.
Nano Blade, go burn! That's how I usually like to cast. Immortality is by, I don't know, about solid 3 seconds of time, but there is no running from the pain train that is Taishinobu with a Nano Blade. Disgusting stuff. Finger Lakes have not lost a fight yet. That's scary.
Yeah, and Lackawanna has a defensive ultimate, but once again, you know, like we saw in Busan, unfortunately, like Mom Jean's ult charge isn't necessarily keeping up with the ult charge of the offense on the other team, and so there wasn't a beat to protect against that Genji Blade. And I know as a Lucio player, it's hard to keep up with that.
Just Finger Lakes are cycling their ultimates so well, and what I mean by that is when they have all of these stored up, they're using one at a time and seeing how much value they get, and then invest more as they feel like they need to. So they have EMP, that's a fight winner right there. A Shatter, depending on how many people you hit, that can be a fight winner right there. So they started with the Gravitic Flux and then didn't need to use anything else. So Lackawanna, there's just no end in sight because next fight could be EMP, next fight could be Shatter, who knows?
Lackawanna's Lucio is going to have to play so safe this next, because they need to know that EMP is coming, and they need to know that this Sombra is behind them because she's been behind them for every single fight. And so we need to see Mom Jeans hiding before the EMP can come out and not get caught in it like that. And it was a massive 6-man EMP, 2-man Shatter, and oh, we just see Lackawanna. Oh, maybe not. I thought we only lost one.
Yeah,
there was
surprised.
Yeah, there
so
didn't seem to
surprised.
be a ton of follow-up on that EMP, and Lackawanna is still advancing.
Great sound barrier from Monjis. You were wondering if that was going to come out during the EMP, but when you're hacked, you can't do that. Usually you like to hide from that EMP as you mentioned, but at least that will negate the damage of the Genji Blade. Still maybe finishing off Beverly as that sound barrier went off. Almost a second take for Lackawanna, but if you look at the time, guys, it's now overtime, which means if they step off the objective, it's going to go away like a candle. It's going to burn away just like their hopes of this map. This was such a struggle from Lackawanna, and with the res from Snell to bring back Llama Cartel, the defense are so invigorated, and one last time they will wipe away Lackawanna and hold on point A. 79.3% is all Lackawanna got, which means the winning condition for Finger Lakes on their next attack is getting 79.4, and they will win the map.
So not impossible, but Lackawanna is going to have to play super disciplined in order for them to hold this. You know, holding such a small, like 2 ticks on a point, holding that is, I'm sure anyone who's played Overwatch knows it can be really hard. I really hope that Lackawanna has a plan, you know, whether it's they need more sustain, whether it's they need a peel plan, in case, you know, they try to go on the flank with the Sombra or the Genji, because if Lackawanna loses one person in a fight, it could spell the end of this round, and we're gonna be going on to the next one. So Lackawanna right now is holding again the Baptiste and the Lucio, and I hope Mom Jeans doesn't watch this stream and think I'm bullying her. I'm a Lucio player too, so I'm always looking at the Lucios. So it's because of a type of like kinship, not because of like, oh, Mom Jeans is But the other thing is that Lucio is so important in this comp. She has such an important role in that protecting against the EMPs and protecting against shatters and against blades, which a Lucio cannot protect against all of those things alone. But they need to be able to be ready to protect against at least one, and that could be the winning condition, you know. But we've also got McCree, who needs to be ready, maybe like protecting his backline to shut down this Sombra like we're seeing. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. McCree is right there, so it doesn't seem like Sombra's. They might know she's there though. They were spy checking. We saw Ryan swing a little bit behind him. Oh, and there goes the hack.
At this point, Vince is just trying to build up towards EMP. He's going for hacks, and oh my god, that buyout from Jackia just heard Joaquin. Beverly was also low. They had to go towards Mega Pack's side, and Lackawanna are split from each other, and all Tornado has to do is swing to those supports. There's nobody protecting little Trinquin, and she tried to get behind those shields, but man, there was no stopping Tornado Mans, and maybe that's why he named himself that, because When he starts swinging, he is a storm. And with Finger Lakes taking already this first and second tick, Lackawanna have to get back quick to prevent this from being captured to 79.3%. Quackins lost to the ball. That will get back quicker, but I think it's too little and too late. Finger Lakes will be taking Volskaya and lead our series 2-1.
Absolutely. My heart is like, it was a short match, but my heart from that last fight was pounding because we did see a Maywall came up behind the tanks on the side of the defending team, and it did in some respect cut off the tanks, but there was that little gap that let the Mercy and the Ana through so they could still heal their Reinhardt. And what could have been a fight-winning Maywall just had that little bit of, that didn't quite cut off the healers, which was so disappointing on my part. I mean, placing those things perfectly is hard. It's nothing against their May player specifically. It's such an easy mistake. It's such an easy, thing that to fall victim to. I was really excited, because they were ready for the Sombra. We saw them checking behind them. Their McCree was staying by their BAP because their BAP was the Sombra's target almost every single time. And for a good couple seconds, their Sombra couldn't really decloak. Or, I mean, maybe it was because their team wasn't ready. They were definitely communicating like, oh, are you pushing in? I can hack. But doing that into a McCree who's standing right next to your supports is dangerous. And so, it looked like they were ready. And then the Maywall came up, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Finger Lakes got it. And then they didn't. I was like, darn. I mean, and I'm not rooting for one team over the other. I always want to see matches go longer. The longer, the more enjoyable for me. So I'm always rooting for like, no, not yet. Don't win yet.
Yeah, we were talking about how there's actually 2 points of this map, and we only got to see the first one.
See
but
one.
I want, for anybody in chat who wants to be a gamer, is already a gamer, and is trying to level up their setup, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Lenovo, and their Legion Y25 monitor. This is your dream monitor, guys. 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel. IPS panel is one of the best. It has some of the best colors, and that's the one you want to get if you're looking for any monitor. But that's not even the best part. 240 hertz refresh rate. That's what the pros play on. So if you want to level up, see more, and get more out of your gaming experience, check out the Legion Y25 monitor that you can find at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. But we also have another fine map coming up between Finger Lakes and Lackawanna. But Finger Lakes are now up 2-1, and it's first to 3, Molly. This could be the last map.
I hope not. I want to see more maps.
Yeah.
It's been back and forth this whole time. It can stay back and forth. That just means, so we went Finger Lakes, Lackawanna, Finger Lakes. It's Lackawanna's turn to win. You know what? Remember how I said my predictions are who I want to win rather than who I think is going to win? Lackawanna, I'm saying Lackawanna's going to win the next map. So then we can go on to a 5th map, which is, again, I think more exciting for me, more exciting for you, more exciting for chat, and probably, I don't know, maybe more exhausting for the teams, but also possibly more fun. I don't know. I think it feels better to lose 2-3 than 1-3.
Yeah. Well, you brought about exhaustion for these players, but can you imagine all these players today are enrolled in the college that is their team name. These are collegiate teams. So can you imagine balancing a full class schedule, studying, doing projects, and all the other school business? And then you also have to be part of a professional team where there's practice. For anyone who doesn't know esports, this isn't just a couple hours a day thing. Like, some players will practice up to 8 hours a day and do this as a full-time thing. And especially as a team, you need to practice for your opponents. You have to practice each individual map, and there's like a million maps for Overwatch. And not only practice for the maps, but the compositions and some of the coordination that we saw, Molly, like the Blizzard or the Nano Blade, that takes coordination. We had the Blizzard on Eichenwald with the Reinhardt and everything, coordinating around the Sombra and her hacks. So you can really tell that these players have put a lot of time into these strategies.
Yeah, and you said, can you imagine what it's like to be on a collegiate team? I can. I was on I was on the junior varsity team for my university, and so I definitely know at least to some degree, what it's like. You do have to take a chunk out of your week. I personally probably didn't take, so I was junior varsity, so it wasn't as much time as like the varsity teams, but it can be really exhausting, because you're like, I have homework to do, I have things to do, but also Overwatch, and I want to be good, and I want to, not let down my team, so I need to practice. So definitely, I can't imagine, but it also, even if it can be stressful, it brings people together. I
Ready
met
for
people who were also involved with the college team that I will probably stay involved with, you know, hopefully my entire life. Like I have met, the people running this
Attackers
production team,
incoming
this
in
production
30
right now,
seconds.
I met kind of directly or indirectly through my collegiate team. And I've made awesome friends and have made so many opportunities because of that. So, and for anyone listening, if you are thinking about joining your college team, even if you feel like you're not good, do it anyway. If you're a silver or gold or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough for a college team,
5,
heck, your junior varsity team can be gold and silver, and you'll have a blast and make friends and get better. So I say do it for sure. But enough about
Do
me.
it.
This match is starting, and Lackawanna is on the attack.
Oh, they already discovered vents. Thankfully, was able to get out before spy check. And speaking of spy checking, Joaquin is on the diva. And I've been waiting to see some diva because this is one of the perfect things to. Oh, well. You try and matrix that.
Oh,
so
that's
as a
not
diva,
nice.
the best way to counter those Roadhog hooks is to actually boost into the Roadhog hook and matrix that, because you can actually save your teammate by doing that. There is a hack onto, I think that was Gummy Poons, and look how everyone went to defend Gummy as they were surrounded. They're hacked again. Gummy is sick and tired of Vents right now, but Vents and friends will be falling back, and Lackawanna are getting under the bridge.
So it does look like Finger Lakes is trying to run the Sombra Genji again. It did really well. Oh, and they are not quite backing off yet. We've got Llama Cartel here trying to push into it, but he got purpled. Oh, and he unfortunately fell, and Reaper's just freely running amongst the supports, but asleep. Oh! I don't know who's gonna win this fight. I don't know yet.
That was a nice shot from Jakia. Kind of like an underrated, she's been a really underrated player in this, and supports always go kind of less loved because you only ever notice what a support is doing when they're doing something wrong. But Jakia has been consistently hitting like multiple people with bio grenades, and then mechanically she's really solid, and that's hard to do on Ana. So as an Ana player, big shout out to Jakia and what she's been able to do and how she's able to pick her targets for the nanos, because I think that's been really helping Tornado Mans and whoever she nanos in these fights.
Yeah, I think every time we've gone massive purple or that anti, I think it's been on the side of Jakia. Last time we did say Trinquin. Oh, Nanoblade, another Nanoblade. Oh no!
And that's what we say, man. Jakia, she's never gonna get credit for that, but it takes coordination with your Genji as he dashes up, give the nano over, and it's a beautiful combination. That is a big shout out also to Tai Shinobu for making that happen, because sometimes, you never know if there's gonna shatter or something that's gonna boop you away, or you gotta also dodge the sleeps of the Ana from Trinquin. So Lackawanna is gonna go at it again.
Lackawanna is coming up on 6 ultimates right here, though, so I was gonna say I was hoping that they would ult first, but unfortunately a quick EMP from Vents completely shut that down, and they did get the Diva Bomb off, but unfortunately no value from it. So a big thing in Overwatch is who ults first. Because you want to be using your ultimates proactively, not reactively, majority of the time. And so with Lackawanna having so many ultimates for this next fight, I really, really want to see them ult first. And I think that's gonna, and yes, Finger Lakes doesn't have as many ultimates, but I really think it's gonna play a part in them winning, this next fight.
Oh, that's the self-destruct. Got shields up, baby. Oh, self-destruct still kills Jakia. Couldn't get behind the shield. There's no supports, no healing left for this defense of Finger Lakes. So this is just easy peasy lemon squeezy for Lackawanna. It did take them a long time to get this done though, but if I know Finger Lakes, they are just not gonna go down laying down. But looks like once Llama Cartel was done that whole hog, it wouldn't be wise for Finger Lakes to keep contesting as you're just giving ult charge to Lackawanna, but there they go. They just captured 3 minutes now on the board to get to point B.
It was a little scrappy, so I kind of missed it, but they invested beat into the fight at the last second, and I'm wondering maybe if one of the tanks was in danger, because I was just thinking how happy I was that they only invested 2 ultimates and then beat came out the last second. So I'm worried because, you know, Finger Lakes is sitting on a Genji blade, and they're not going to have beat for that, so they're going to need to stun him or shut him down in some way if they're going to basically survive this next fight, which again, we'll see who ults first and who wins the fight. That's what I would like
time. Let go, Shinobu. Oh, just like an anime, except the battle didn't last 2 seasons. It just lasted about 5 seconds. Shout out to Finger Lakes, Nano Blade, great coordination. Lackawanna now have to break through this choke point and get back on the card if they want to move it.
Jockio with another huge anti-nade, which was fantastic. Their healers couldn't do, I mean, healers can't do much against the Nano Blade anyway, but they especially just, there was just no hope that everyone was purple. But Finger Lakes ulted first, and they won the fight. Let's see who goes for this next one. Lackawanna sitting on some pretty decent ultimates.
Ooh, Salamander? Okay, I almost picked off that Sombra, and wow, the shatter from Gummy gets 3. But what's important about those 3 is 2 of them were supports. So Finger Lakes, they have no hope of contesting, at least for now. They want to regroup, have everyone online. And Beverly goes over to the Pharah, so that'll be some really good long-range poke.
This is the second time Lackawanna, though, has run Pharah without a Mercy, and I'm a little unsure. Oh my gosh, that was a massive shatter and a massive purple.
Wait, Salamander got hacked out of Deadeye, I think? Oh my god, just what can Vents not do, to be honest? And Beverly is just too close to the sun when it comes to that Roadhog. You just want to be more than an arm's length away. But Finger Lakes now stopped the cart so close to point B. It's going to take so long for Lackawanna just to get back.
I don't know about you, but I would like to be further away than an arm's length from a Roadhog. How about a hook's length away? That's my distance away from Roadhog that I like to be. But yeah, I am worried about this Pharah. It's not impossible to play Pharah without a Mercy Pocket. But it didn't go so well for them on Volskaya, so I'm a little worried about it here. But the map is very different, so obviously we can hopefully.
Oh my god! And this is another combo that is very underrated and kind of hard to execute as a self-destruct into a charge. So Gummy will charge the other Reinhardt to put the shield down as they're probably looking up and trying to see where the Diva Bomb is. And then Quarterfinals Diva Bomb kills both supports. And those are the most important, the high priority targets you want to get rid of, because no healing means there ain't gonna be much of you left after that. Snell tried to come in with Valkyrie to touch one last time. He gave a little bit extra speed with that ultimate, but Lackawanna not only will cap but are moving into point C. So Finger Lakes gonna whole hog, but not a lot of HP left for Llama. They get healed back up from Snell and manage to make a lot of space and get out.
I can't believe they kept that Roadhog alive. I'm pretty sure he was purple at one point and low, and either a lack of focus fire on the side of Lackawanna or amazing heals on the side of Finger Lakes. It could be either. But they've also let Lackawanna is also running a Mei now, which we saw last fight. Instead of the McCree, I think they're hoping maybe that can shut down the enemy Genji possibly a little bit more effectively.
Tornado Man, don't poke the bear. He's got the shadow. Oh, the sounder from Mom Jeans saved her team. I can't stress how big that play was. Salamander even throws the blizzard, and look how quickly they are to react to Tornado Man throwing himself in. But Taishinobu actually maybe equalizes things, kills the Ana of Trinquin, and makes this winnable for the defense. This is so back and forth, but what's important to remember is Finger Lakes have closer respawns, so they'll get back much quicker than Lackawanna, so these kills gonna matter so much more. So Lackawanna have cleared things, the res goes through, and Llama Cartel is back, hooks the baby Diva, and Finger Lakes are starting to stabilize.
That was a massive beat. I know you already said, but that was a massive beat on the side of Mom Jeans, and I managed to save her Reinhardt mid-pin. That was awesome. I mean, they didn't manage to get out the fight, but it was definitely like a valiant effort. And Finger Lakes is just at this point still kind of dominating the fight, but they're in overtime right now. They can't afford to regroup. We've got Lucio, we've got Diva stall, but oh, Poor Lucio.
Taishinobu killed himself. Pulse bomb. It's okay. It happens to the best and the worst of us. So Lackawanna will not be finishing the map. But don't worry if you guys are fans of Lackawanna, because it's a very, very far push to almost get to point C. Now, Finger Lakes, their winning condition, if they want to take this series and go to the semifinals, is they got to go to that box of victory, push the cart all the way to where Lackawanna did and go just a little bit further, and they'll take the map. But equally, Lackawanna can force a game of 5 if they can defend before that cart or before that box of victory. So we could get a game 5 where this could be the end, Molly.
You know, I feel like a broken record. Every single time I'm like, I'm so excited, but it's true. I'm so excited. I think the hardest thing about casting is you reach a point where you just want to watch. You're just like, yes, I'm supposed to be talking right now, but wait, interesting things are happening on screen. I want to see if this Sombra gets her hack off, or I want to see if this Genji gets stunned, and you just kind of trail off like, oh wow, esports, this is nice. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm supposed to be talking to people. So, I think this is the first time we've seen Echo this entire, for this entire, any of the maps, this entire series. And so Taishinobu has been rocking it on Genji. He rocked himself on Tracer. And so
True.
we'll see how this goes. They do have the Mercy pocket for him if he potentially needs it. It's almost like, ooh, that was very, very close. Ooh.
When you hear that Reinhardt charge, everyone clenches a little bit. Lackawanna were staying so hidden inside this building, and you heard Quacky go for a charge onto someone who didn't notice but must have missed or something. Lackawanna are holding inside this building because they can contest the cart without having to really fight. Especially with the Mei and the Reaper, Finger Lakes just want to go nowhere near that. A great strategy that pros do to break this setup is to actually bring out a far, or I guess you bring out Tornado Mans with an ult. He's been swinging it for so long, he got it already. So that doesn't seem too much of a problem.
Perfectly timed. You knew he saw the Orisa shield going down, and he knew, it's kind of where you use your ult or you use your cooldown a little bit before the shield is gone because you know it's about to disappear. And that was just one of the most amazing shatters. But Lackawanna's stall, their positioning, that's another thing they've obviously practiced before. And I really like that they used that. They're gonna need a big time bait for this.
Quakian got both supports with the Shatter, and Jockey is down. Snell is 1 HP, and Lackawanna had taken back control of this map. It looked like it was getting out of hand with their closer hold, but a lot of teams like that closer hold because you're forcing more fights out of this point A journey, and more fights means less time for the attack. So Finger Lakes down to 223.
So we are looking, nothing big on Finger Lakes' side except maybe a Nano. However, we're looking at a Blizzard and a Blossom on the side of Lackawanna. Primal coming out. Oh, the tire, but the beat saved her team, kind of. I mean, we've got
Jeans so big there. Yeah, that sound barrier saved her team for sure. And then Bensley was behind enemy lines. Of course, you're not going to live through that, but as they were split between the front and the back, pinching Lackawanna from both sides, they completely wipe them away. And Snell's Valkyrie also gives AoE damage and healing, depending on which beam you're on, the blue or the yellow one. And Finger Lakes able to take this over, push to point A, maybe a little bit slower than Lackawanna, but who's really counting? 4 minutes now to get to point B. And remember, if they are stopped as this time runs out, that'll be Lackawanna forcing game 5.
We've got a lot of ultimates on the side of Lackawanna. I'm very excited. Oh! Wait, did they get shattered or did the wall block it? It happened so fast.
Yes. As
There's
the
just so
bodies
much going
are
on.
falling, as the dust is settling, you see Lackawanna pulling off this Ant Matrix placed by, I think that's Trinquin, or at least my feed's getting a little blurry. But Finger Lakes, they just have to sit on cart for a little bit. Lackawanna are just taking a small break.
Already, and Lackawanna still has their DPS ultimate. I really, really hope they don't hold on to them for the entirety of the second point. Oh, we're seeing Blizzard come out just now. Yes, I summoned it.
At least you can see it for sure. You got a Riptire from Vents. This person is like one of the most confident persons in this lobby. To be able to jump behind enemy lines and Riptire, you're going on a road trip with this tire. That's how long they held it for, making sure the Zarya didn't have self-bubble, confirming that kill. Finger Lakes with, I think around 3 minutes, getting so close to that point B objective, as Lackawanna want to touch one last time, and charging in might be this Reinhardt. It looks like Lackawanna are starting to get zoned away, and yeah, Finger Lakes will get that in.
Already. It really just, you know, we saw such coordination from Lackawanna in the beginning, but I feel like they're just starting to lose focus a little bit. And, you know, Finger Lakes has just been able to kind of walk forward after they took first. And there hasn't been too much coordination like we saw from Lackawanna again. You know, if they can really kind of like settle their nerves and get their focus back in game, I still don't think, you know, it's not hopeless. They still have a chance to hold this and push another game 5, but, you know, we're already looking at another rip tire on the side of Finger Lakes. They're gonna have to play really split, break it, or just be really careful.
It's about to be the end. Finger Lakes are, if they win this fight, that'll be the series. Lackawanna have to get off this cart. They do contest one last time. The sound barrier from Lackawanna will keep them up, and they just have to rely on Beverly's Reaper, who was just cleaning house for Lackawanna. And with those close respawns, the defense just holding on by the skin of their teeth. That yellow box of victory, Finger Lakes just have to push it there to take the series, go to the semifinals. Lackawanna still have to stall for like 2 or 3 minutes.
We've also got Salamander here on Doomfist. I know he probably switched to get the stall, but I'm wondering if he's gonna stay, and if so, I'm really excited to see the Doomfist play. Also, I wonder if Beverly broke that rip tire on purpose with their ultimate, or if that was an accident, but either way, it was amazing.
There's a dive from Llama Cartel, has the Primal Rage, gets support from Tornado Mans and Teishinobu, who gets the copy. So if you're wondering, why is there 2 Reinhardts? That Echo ultimate can copy any hero from the opposite team. So 2 Reinhardts and a Winston. Lackawanna are getting overwhelmed. Trinquin got deleted. You only have Lucio heals. You don't even have mom jeans anymore. And I'm not sure you're going to be wearing pants at all after this is done. Finger Lakes are swinging away, killing every single person on this objective. And only a few more meters to go. Trinquin could not contest. With an 8-1 record, someone will end with a loss, and Finger Lakes are just about to put the cherry on top. But what a stall from Lackawanna, but I think this is it. Finger Lakes will be the champions of this quarterfinal and are moving on to the semis going down next week.
Absolutely gorgeous quarterfinals. I was so glad I was here for this. Taishinobu just mopping the floor as Genji, but wow, I'm a big fan of Beverly's Reaper also. Definitely a big fan of how I said of how he got that tire. Don't know if it was important, I don't know if it was intentional, but we'll say it was, and we'll just say that was absolutely calculated. Everyone performed really well. I don't know about you, Jen, but I actually don't know what SR teams were watching today. You know, but it's definitely clear that they, at least on the side of Lackawanna, I didn't quite see as much on the side of Finger Lakes besides, you know, obviously skill, but there's obviously been practice, and there's also obviously been coordination for these teams, and, you know, you can really at least guess there has been a decent amount of dedication for them to get this far. That they've been trying really hard, that they've been practicing, and you really have to admire them for that. Especially, like we said, they're college students. College is hard enough on its own, and balancing what could possibly be a full-time esports practice schedule is, on top of the stress of everything else, is even harder.
But what a series that was, Molly. And a big congratulations to Finger Lakes taking that series 3-1 over Lackawanna. So Purple, Snell, Cobster, Llama Cartel, Jackia, Glitch Sparrow, Venice, Tornado Man. Of course, you never forget the Tornado Man. How could I? And all of Finger Lakes working so hard. And then for anyone who caught the Women in Esports panel and you're wondering, how can I be a professional gamer. And look at Snell and Jackia, the women of Finger Lakes, who, when we talked at length about Jackia and her Ana. So if you're a woman in chat and you want to be a gamer, look at Molly, she's done it. And look at Jackia and Snell, they've done it. So you can do it too. Congratulations to Finger Lakes. Did you have any favorite moments or like favorite plays, Molly, from this series? I'd have to say the Deadeye that we
The
pointed
Deadeye
out.
was so good. I mean, maybe that's basic. Maybe it's too easy to be like, oh, massive Deadeye killed 4 people. But I'm a simple person with simple,
Mhm.
and I'm impressed by simple things. And you know what? That was the one that made me go whoa the most. So it was
There was
definitely that.
so many things. I think there was a Riptire that killed like a million people too, and that's gotta be Vents. So shout out to every single player. There's been so many key plays. We've yelled over Tornado Mans, we have yelled over Jackia, we've yelled over Tei Shinobu and the Nano Blades. This was an incredible series. So it was now I'm forgetting names. Lackawanna, who put on an incredible show, almost forced the game 5. So the 3-1 score doesn't even tell that much of a story. But speaking of a story, we're gonna bring back Tiffany from Army National Guard after this break for some more debrief to get her thoughts on the series and more about the Army National Guard. So you won't want to miss it, guys. We'll see you after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the NJCAA Army National Guard series, where we had some awesome Overwatch from Finger Lakes and Lackawanna. And Molly's been keeping me company this whole time as we got a little so excited over that match. But I'm equally as stoked to talk to Tiffany, aka Specialist from the Army National Guard. And Tiffany, I want to get your thoughts on how this match went and just what did you think of that series?
Oh my goodness. Thank you for welcoming me again. Welcoming me again, by the way. Thank you. Those games were intense. Like, I believe it was after first match, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of liking how Lackawanna's playing and just seeing like that energy between all these rounds and just not giving up is just, you love to see that. That's what sportsmanship's all about. So very exciting and very electric, that's for sure.
So,
Alrighty, and then so
yeah.
are there any upcoming events for between these two, between the NJCAA and the RNNG that are coming up soon that you want to let everyone know about?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are 6 more events, and I believe the next one is in May, but I do not know the specific dates yet.
Cool. Well, that I think everyone has to stay tuned here, or maybe go follow your Twitter, Tiffany. Oh hi T O H HAITEA. I'm gonna plug it for you. I'm gonna be bestie right here. Everyone, go follow Tiffany. She's got awesome content, and to
Thank
be
you.
in the army and also gaming, that's a hard balance. I think my last question has to be: if anyone wants to learn more about the Army National Guard, where should they go?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely find your local recruiter. It's super simple. You can actually go on the National Guard's website, or you could reach out, I believe, on Twitter even. But regardless, super easy. They may ask you a few questions, and then they'll tie you to a recruiter that is near you. And it's a very painless process, I promise.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I'm so glad you enjoyed the series, and it was great to talk to you during the webinar. So, for everyone who wants to keep up with Tiffany again, catch her on Twitter, and then she has all her other socials there and what she's doing with the Army National Guard and what she's doing in gaming. Thank you so much for joining us, Tiffany.
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah. But you have something that you want to announce maybe, Tiffany, the winner of certain something something?
Oh, yes. Oh,
I almost
so
forgot too what everyone was waiting for.
yeah, no, everyone's here like, "Wait, who won this the scholarship?" Like, "Hello?" Um, so everybody, if you haven't heard, there is a $500 prize, and we do have a winner for that. So drum roll if you
Drum
want
roll.
in the chat, drum roll. The winner is Hannah Bokelman. So Hannah, congratulations. Woo woo, good
Round of
job.
applause. Round of
Uh,
applause.
Thank you so much for attending and participating. You have, yeah, you're our winner. So please keep an eye out. You will be receiving an email from the NJCAA. So congratulations again.
So
And
congrats,
Hannah, if
Hannah
you could please announce
Bolkeman.
that in your interview after the match.
Ooh, yes, I'm so excited. Yeah, congrats to Hannah and congrats to Finger Lakes. This was such an awesome event. Anything more you want to say, Molly, about all this?
I love Overwatch. I love Overwatch. I love the community. I love collegiate esports. And if there's anyone who's not already into esports watching this cast, I really, really hope that we can help them understand what an amazing industry it is. There's so many opportunities for so many different people, and every time I cast, I think I always have to take a minute to be like, support your kids if they want to do esports, because even if they don't end up as players, they can end up as casters, as part of production, as part of there's video editing, there's graphics, there's so many facets to Overwatch, or not to Overwatch, I'm sorry, to esports, that are also applicable in so many mainstream jobs, regular things that can be applied to so many different fields that you do in esports. And you know, getting a little taste of it in college, getting a little taste of it in high school can really just open up that door to those people. And I know how hard it can be to have this thing that really inspires you, to have this thing you really want to go for, and maybe to not have the support of your parents. And that can be really hard. And so if I can change like one parent's mind to be like, hey, this is actually something really amazing and you should believe in your kid, then I've done what I need to do. That's why I'm
Yeah.
here.
There's just so many opportunities around esports, and NJCAAE, Army National Guard, doing everything to support their students, to have these programs. I wish we got to talk to those directors and just get to know the students more, but they're working hard not only on their degrees and the futures, but that future could also include esports with how, amazing Finger Lakes competed today, how Lackawanna made them sweat this hard. But this will be the end of our broadcast. Maybe not the end of our journey, though, because next week we'll have the semifinals featuring Finger Lakes going up against some other opponent that will meet them in the semifinals. But that's all from Molly and I. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you follow the stream.